to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. With me today is Executive Director of the Norfolk Education Foundation, Mr. Carlos Clanton. Welcome, Carlos, to NPS Now.
Thank you for having me, Karen.
And you are no stranger on this show, and I'm glad to have you to come on and talk about the Norfolk Education Foundation. But first, what are some of the ongoing projects that you have with the foundation?
Well, one of the most recent activities was our NPS tailgate event where we were at Booker T. Washington High School this year, and which has kind of become a crowd favorite. We've been moving it around to support athletics, but there's been great discussion about using that activity next year and having it at all 5 of our high schools as a tool to actually re-engage the community and alumni to come in and also to generate some funds to support some ongoing fundraising efforts to support band uniforms as well as cheerleading uniforms for our high schools. Also, the foundation had its annual retreat back in August, and at that retreat they were at Camp E.W. Young. It was a great opportunity for folks to reconnect who really just didn't know that Norfolk Public Schools, an urban school district, actually had a camp. And so out of that activity, we were able to develop a 3-year plan to support the activities at Camp Young and their STEM activities. And so a lot of great things to be coming out of that, and great stories for the community to see what our kids are being engaged in and involved in going forward.
So what are some of the upcoming projects? Because since that sounds a little new, what you're doing with Camp Young.
Some of the other upcoming activities, we've been working with the faith-based community for a couple months now for what will be taken from an example from the Fulton County School District down in Georgia. And we're going to have our first ever Faith Partners Summit. And that will take place in the month of November, where we'll bring individuals from the faith community to Norfolk Public Schools to meet with our leadership at the schools to really kind of break down. We hear all the time that there seems to be this invisible barrier where people just don't know how to get inside our schools to support. People want to help, but they don't know how. So through the A+ Community Partners Program, this is going to be a new endeavor where we're going to bring the communities together so that they can have dialogue and to converse and to come up with a plan. And the campaign this year is one thing that the schools can come up with, and one thing that the faith community can come up with to support and get their members of their various groups together to support our kids here in Norfolk Public Schools. So
what's the one thing you think you're trying to accomplish by bringing the faith-based groups in? Because it's all different denominations and backgrounds.
You know, several of our school board members said it best at the last school board meeting when we talk about accreditation, we talk about all these things. The one thing that the foundation's hallmark that they talk about, which is driving community investment back in our public schools, or short for putting the public back in public schools. The only way that we're going to get over that hump when we talk about declining budgets and all these other things is we need our community. And what other large demographic or a group of people together is other than our places of houses of worship, and so that's one place where we can reach the community, and if we provide them guidelines and a pathway to get inside our schools to support, not to convert anybody or do anything that way, but to do what many of them are based on, and that's mission, and that is the community. They said it takes a village, and so this is an opportunity for the village of Norfolk, the city of Norfolk, and so many people to come together and make a positive impact, an exponential impact on making sure that our kids are successful.
In addition to the faith-based groups, how can businesses, organizations, and individuals support and become a part of the NEF?
Well, when we say our time, our treasure, and your talent, that is a great way for all our businesses to be involved. The Chamber of Commerce has been a great partner. They're going to, again, partner with us for the Superintendent's State of the School Address, which will also occur in November. But it's a great way for our Principal for a Day program, which is going to happen in February, where we want individuals to have an opportunity to see what goes on behind those school doors on a daily basis. And every person who's participated in that program has walked away and said, wow, I had no idea what was going on, and the positive things that are going on, the teaching that's going on in the classroom. So as I always say, that sometimes you have to create your own story. You have to tell the positive stories that are going on there, and then people are ignited, they're invigorated to get in there and to see how they can make a positive impact.
So how can someone become a partner, a volunteer, or even a sponsor for some of these activities that you have?
Well, we listened to folks, and again, like I said, it was difficult. When you looked at some of the things that we had stuff all over the place. So now we have a new portal. We call it our A+ Community Partners portal, where individuals can come to support NPS.org or .com, and in one place they can figure out how to become a volunteer, they can look for opportunities, they can figure out how to become a partner. All that information is in one place so that we can try to make a difference here in Norfolk.
And I think it's great that you have the Principal for a Day type of event. And tell us a little bit more about that, just in case someone's watching and saying, hey, I wouldn't mind doing that. Kind of give us the day of a life of a Principal of a Day. Well,
they start in the morning. They meet with their respective principal. Sometimes some of our principals are very popular, so they get more than one, and so we end up having a principal or an assistant principal. But it's really an opportunity for alumni, business community, faith-based, all to get a vantage point of what, you know, there's a great point of having great teachers in the classroom, but really having great leaders in the school building is also vitally important. So being able to see what that principal goes through and how they create that environment for teaching and learning, and how they create that environment so that their parents can be involved and be a part of that process. So you can see anything from principals going, you know, leaving the school and actually going to the house of a student who didn't show up to school that particular day, or sitting in some of the meetings and seeing how some of that teaching and learning is going on and how they're going to, you know, actually interact or enact that particular mission. So you have a lot of folks who learn a lot about that, and they walk away. And I can tell you that many of our folks who've been principals for a day are still partners with their schools to this very day. So it's a great opportunity to bring the community into our schools, and then so that our schools benefit from it.
Great. In an upcoming segment, we're going to be talking to two of your board members about an upcoming event called the Tie Awards. Tell me a little bit about that.
I call them the dynamic duo, but they are both, they're no strangers to Norfolk Public Schools. Dr. Gloria Higgins, who had over 40 years of experience working as an administrator and educator in the school district, and Dr. Linda McClooney, who's a former school board member, who are both members of the NEF board. They teamed up last year as co-chairs of the Tie Awards and have just really taken it to a new level. And so they're going to talk about that event and you know, what we have in store this year, but it has definitely become a very student-focused event. That's excitement, and it's the place you want to be.
Great, and I look forward to talking to them next, and I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
All right, thank you.
Well, I want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now. Welcome back to NPS Now. With me now is Dr. Linda McClooney and Dr. Gloria Higgins, Norfolk Education Foundation board members. Welcome, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you. Thank you.
I get excited having you all come on the show around this time every year to talk about a special event that's coming up. And Dr. Higgins, let's start with you. What does Tie Award stand for?
Well, number one, Karen, you can't be more excited than Linda and I and being here and preparing for the event. Tie stands for Together in Education. And that's what we're about, because we know that if we're going to have a strong community, then we must have a partnership with schools, community, businesses, families, and that's what Tie represents. And the evening this year of our Tie Gala and Awards and Auction, we will be hosting it at the Half Moon. In the past, you know, we've been at the Marriott, but this year we thought we'd do a change of scenery, capitalize on that beautiful waterfront of ours, and we're not using the R word or the R word, rain, or bad weather, take it out. We envision a beautiful evening there and capitalizing and using that area that we have on the outside as part of that. It will be on Thursday, October 30th. We will have dinner starting at, we will have a reception, and we will have the auction beginning at 5. and we will have dinner starting at 6.
What's the purpose, Dr. McClooney, of having this particular event every year?
The purpose, Karen, is to garnish the community, to get them to direct monies towards our school system. We're about building relationships. We're about championing excellence throughout our school system. Excellence to bring our kids visibility. Excellence to our teachers.
Right.
That's the purpose of this whole gala event.
And hosting this every year, then I said every year, what did we do last year? How much did we raise last year for this cause?
Last year we raised $97,000. This year we're going for over $100,000.
Over $100,000.
And we know that we can make it. With the support of the community again and businesses, that we will be able to do it, especially if we keep in the forefront that we're doing it for our young people, that all that we receive goes back into building a stronger community because we're building stronger students and schools.
Yeah, what type of efforts or initiatives through the foundation does this money go to support?
There's several, and Linda wants to
Y'all
probably
can
speak
tag
to a
team.
couple of those. I'm always struck by the mini grants, that the Seeds for Success grants that we award individual teachers in schools, in which we know all around the country, budgets are strained in schools. So this provides that extra money that teachers with creative ideas that may not be able to be covered with the regular budget, that they're able to involve their kids in things that may not ordinarily take place. For example, we have some schools that have become very much involved with the STEM program, with science, technology, math. They're able to do some special things within their class with their students with that. Some are using the funds to deal with Rachel's Challenge,
Right.
the character ed piece, and some are using it for things, getting kids excited about being able to grow their own garden and fresh vegetables and what have you, all a part of also combating the obesity that's become,
So the funds
from
are
healthy
really
eating.
going to cover a myriad of
absolutely.
efforts and initiatives
Absolutely.
through the
Absolutely.
school district.
We give the students the opportunity to travel to different states. We provide that transportation money. And I think it's important for the public to realize the state has reduced the monies for public schools in Virginia. And we are talking about maybe $25 million reduced each year since 2008. We're about trying to fill that gap. And we need the public to come forward to make a commitment
Right.
so we can save those programs that have already been identified as benefiting our students.
And that's a great question I have for you now, is that if a business or organization or even an individual wants to come to Unmasking the Potential, how can they get involved or sign up to be a part of this event?
We have different levels of sponsorships. We have a sponsorship starting with the platinum level, and that you can come forward with $10,000. So we have a range from $10,000 all the way through $500 or below.
25,000. that we
Yes.
have. Some of our really committed businesses, knowing that it's going to such a worthy cause, contributing. So we encourage, maximum. We encourage all that you can give, with the note that we're doing it for our children. We're doing it to unmask
The
their
potential.
potential, which is our theme for this year.
So we'll send them to the website. I believe it's www.norfolkedfound.org.
Down.
Yes.
Yeah, if they want to be a part of this or any of the
Yes.
activities that the
Yes.
foundation
And
provides.
the other thing that I want to emphasize with this also is that we really work with reaching out to the community. And for those out there who may be members of various community groups, we encourage you to get a table. If you can come together as a group and get a table for 10. And you will be recognized for your contribution to this cause. So $65 per person, or $650 for 10 with your own table and your recognition of this worthy cause.
Right.
So we encourage you, come on, do
Let's
it.
come
You'll
out.
love it. It's going to be a fun evening.
It is.
You know,
And
It
it's
is.
full of student performances. I know last year my daughter
Absolutely.
hosted.
Yes,
That was a
yes.
feather under her cap.
Again,
but this year, what school is hosting?
Again, Lake Taylor High School.
Lake Taylor High School's
will
hosting.
be the host school for our MCs this year. We're really excited about that. We will also have our strollers, who are fantastic and all over the place, not only in our area, but at the state level. We just had them in the community last weekend for a special event. And everybody, when they see them, they just, they're just so talented. They'll be there again this year with dinner. We have our jazz band that will be there for the reception and the auction period. And we also have, since it's a theme, the Mardi Gras theme, we're going to have our drummers this year.
Oh,
we're
neat.
going to,
Yes.
So
we're
this is gonna be an
bringing a
exciting event.
special, absolutely.
Well, recap for us real quick. We got maybe
This is an opportunity to showcase the talents of our students.
Right.
And this is what we want to emphasize with the public.
So that you know that these are the real people, students that you are
is who you're investing
supporting
in.
with this. Yes.
that you're investing in our students when you
Yes,
come to
yes.
these events and any other projects or initiatives that the
That would-
foundation
yes,
has.
Absolutely.
So they must keep in mind October the 30th, half
Right.
moon,
Half Moon.
Bring
Cut
your mask, have fun, and
reception and
yes.
silent auction at
Yes.
5:30, program
go.
and
Yes.
dinner at 6:30.
Yes.
And go to the foundation's website
and go
for
to the
more
fountain.
information.
And I want you to know also that we're going to, again this year, put many of the items beginning October 16th
Oh, yeah.
online. So
Silent
that those,
auction.
you get a chance to look at some of those items, bid online, and then get a chance to follow up at the actual
Great.
event.
Great, great. Thank you, ladies, for
Yeah.
coming on the show. And
Okay.
you definitely go to our website, www.norfolkedfound.org, and stay tuned for more NPS Now. Welcome back to NPS Now. With me now is Sarah Bishop, Director of Education Initiatives with the United Way. Welcome, Sarah, to NPS Now.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
And you are not a stranger to this set.
No, I'm not. I knew my chair to sit in.
You knew where to go, you knew where to
Yes.
sit, and you all have been doing some great things with Norfolk Schools, and thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So, United Way campaign has officially kicked off with us here in Norfolk Schools, and we're happy to support a great organization like the United Way. But in general, why do you think it's so important for people, businesses, individuals to give to the United Way?
The United Way combines all of our area charities that have been reviewed by volunteers, their finances, their audits, their board minutes. We have very high standards to be included in the United Way campaign as a United Way certified agency. And we come together to say, we're going to work together to take care of the citizens of our community. Let's share a major campaign and let's go to everyone we can find. And it's neighbors helping neighbors. It's, that it takes a village.
Yeah.
Well, Norfolk Public Schools is a critical part of that village for two reasons. You guys have raised money for this community. Last year you raised about $120,000. And of that, about 16 were from your children, from your students.
That's amazing.
But then to look at who's a recipient of services from United Way, whether it's food bank or it's counseling, or it's, you and I were talking in the past about dressing for success, helping parents and adults be prepared to look for jobs. The United Way supports your employees and your families.
So how does United Way support our Norfolk schools?
Well, through all of our agencies, we know we have many of your employees and their family members getting services out of our agencies. But then on top of that, we have a very special partnership with Norfolk Public Schools, and it's called United for Children. And United for Children meets with your leadership team here and says, where do you want us to bring our energy, which means all these agencies, and we bring the city with us and public housing, because we have a logo that we love to state. We bring people and organizations together to solve problems too big for anyone to solve on their own. So when we look at the challenge to educate children in Norfolk, especially children from low-income families, the challenge cannot be met just with our school. The challenge requires everyone coming together to help their parents find jobs, to help issues with mental health and dental care and vision care. And that's what United for Children does. We don't walk into a school and say, this is what we're going to do. We walk into a school, we meet with the principal and the principal's leadership team and with the maintenance man and the cafeteria people, and we
So the
say,
whole school is involved.
the whole school, because if you want to know who's really hungry, talk to your cafeteria people. You want to know what's going on with some of these children, your maintenance people can tell you an awful lot. So we say to them, what keeps you awake at night? What do you worry about? What barriers do you think are particular to your children in this school? If you had unlimited supplies of dollars and people and resources, what would you do? That would then show as educational gains for kids.
Tell us about the special program that you do. Now I can say every year.
Yes.
With Norfolk Schools. Tell
We're
us about that.
thrilled to say every year. We started in PB Young in the summer of 2013, and with a gift from a prominent family, the Jonah Macon Brock family, we worked with the principal and her teachers and said, you guys have said that summer learning loss is one of your barriers. And we said, solve the problem.
Wow.
Grow a summer solution that will end it. And United Way will go find the funds. And so in 2013, teachers told us we need our students in school for 8 weeks in the summer for a full day. But we also need to have academics in the morning, but fun in the afternoon. So a faith-based partner with Trinity Presbyterian Church, and the medical school brought a doctor in. The City Community Services Board brought in social workers. We had arts and crafts and dance and football and hip hop and music. The Steel Drum Band is there from the Virginia Arts Festival. And we did whatever the teachers said would make a difference for children. We also met with the parents. And then, of course, you guys have to make sure it makes sense academically. And we received our outcome data in May 2014. So now, 5 months ago, we got data from the school system to see if children in the 2013 summer school, if they looked any different all the way into May, because we knew they looked different coming in September, because they didn't have any summer learning loss. And we said, gee, I wonder if that would show up in the November, I call them November benchmarks, but I know you guys call them the CFAs.
Right.
And we found out that students who were in the summer school were outperforming the students who did not attend summer school. So then we all, sitting around the table, because we're growing it together, scratching our heads, I wonder if the summer gains would take us all the way in to the end of the school year. And we just received, and the superintendent reported in July, the May STAR reading and math. And it analyzed the students at PB Young, third, fourth, and fifth graders in reading and math. And to our total delight, children in summer school were still outperforming the kids who did not attend summer school. Based on that, a local foundation, the Hampton Roads Community Foundation, said, replicate it, grow it with parent and teacher input,
So
and
that's
we
how
will
we got
fund it.
PB Young and Tidewater
You're
Park.
absolutely
Tell me, what
Tidewater
do you
Park.
think makes the businesses, I guess because of successes, it makes them want to contribute and be a part of the United Way and giving every year?
It does. They know that we're bringing solutions that the school can't bring on their own. The barriers to many children learning are not only in the hands of the school. These children come with medical problems,
Right.
with family challenges, and if some are hungry, but if we don't address those problems,
Right.
then the school's going to continue to be swimming upstream. What can we do to remove the burdens of poverty?
Right.
Take them out of the classroom and let teachers teach. And that's what all of our partners do. So we went to Tidewater Park. And so 2014 summer, we've just closed it out. PB Young and Tidewater Park had a full day summer school for 6 weeks. We wanted 8, but now those 2 schools were blended, so we had to end it 2 weeks earlier. So it'll be interesting to analyze this year's data, because we've got several more questions. Is there a sweet spot between 6 weeks versus 8 weeks? But this is what our donors in the community expect us to do. So when you look to a campaign that raises $120,000 from school employees, we spent more than that on teacher salaries
teacher
this summer that
salaries,
United
and-
Way had to raise from the community for
Right.
PB Young, and more than that for Tidewater Park, and we're going to do it again because the mayor and the superintendent wants to take that to 3 more schools.
And I think just someone watching this show, flipping through and catches this and hearing your excitement and vitality about it, will maybe want to come and donate to United Way to Norfolk Schools or the agencies that support us.
Absolutely.
So what is the campaign timeline and the theme?
We are in the middle of the campaign now. Every school is going to be asked to support this, and on your pledge card, you can give it to United Way, and it will go to volunteers who look at the community need and examine every agency. You can designate that way, or you can designate directly to education or United for Children, and that will come back, every bit of it will come back to the school system. And we will support teachers over the summer to meet the kids' needs over the summertime.
And you all do have a catchy theme. I want you to share what that is.
The coming together to solve problems, or which one?
Or the good things happen.
Oh, we've got a great theme. Good things happen when you give.
And what's the time frame? Because I know United Way is kicked off for everybody, just in case
Kicked
somebody
off-
missed it.
We kicked off, by the way, with a day of caring, and volunteers from corporations and law firms and hospitals were in all of your school systems putting mulch down and
Right,
painting
right.
classrooms. The campaign's going to wrap in November.
Oh, okay, great. And
So
for Norfolk
give
Schools,
now.
I believe we're September 30th to October 17th, I think.
So you have a 2-week, 3-week window.
Yeah.
And those dollars can support our initiatives at United for Children in Norfolk Public Schools.
Thank you, Sarah, for coming on the show, and we hope that people will give and give United, because that was one
Give
of your
United.
themes too. Thank
Good
you
things
for being on
happen
the show.
when you give.
Great. Thank you again,
Thank you,
Sarah.
Karen.
And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or information you want to share with us, email us at npsnews@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.